some rather unfortunate news for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Antonio Brown will be out versus the Green Bay Packers this Sunday. He is out with a knee injury. They did take an MRI, and the MRI did not reveal any significant structural damage in that knee. And they were really optimistic about him starting, but that ended up being shut down by Bruce Arians. And this injury came from the last two quarters of that game against New Orleans Saints. I was trying to figure out whether it was Washington or New Orleans, but this came from the New Orleans from the game against the New Orleans Saints, and Bruce Arians reported that he will be available Sunday. But they are hoping that he will be available if they beat the Green Bay Packers without Antonio Brown and reach the Super Bowl. So I'll start off with you, Nate. Your thoughts on Antonio Brown's knee?
Well, first of all, I wish him the best of luck. Hope he has a speedy recovery. This was a guy that I complained about for a while now. Of before he joined the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, because this dude was very dramatic. He was, a diva. As many of them called him. He was just. I don't want to say the word on here because that's not what I want to do. But he was whiny. All right, he was that player. Let's just say that. But he's really turned it around in Tampa Bay. He knows that Bruce Arians isn't playing around because he even said it. You either be a team player or you're gone. He even said that. So now that he's playing with him, he's playing with Tom Brady, he's playing with all these great players. I'm very glad he turned it around and he's got his head straight and he's not doing stupid stuff like he used to do. With that said, a lot of guys are going to say it's not a big deal because Antonio Brown really hasn't been producing as big of numbers as you think. But I'm going to be honest with you. I agreed at first, but then I really dug deep and I'm like, you got to think. He does put up numbers, right? But those numbers are buried because Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Leonard Fournette, and Ronald Jones. Those guys have they're the key players on that offense. It's the same thing with Antonio Brown. They put up bigger numbers than Antonio Brown. But Antonio Brown does put up some really great numbers for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So I did agree. I didn't think it would be a big deal, but I really thought about it. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? I think this could be a relatively decent hit to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I hope he gets better. I hope he has a speedy recovery. If they do beat the Green Bay Packers, I hope he is available for the Super Bowl. He is a big factor on this team. You also got to realize these past few games, he's been a very good number two. I think some of these games he has been looking like a number two, and obviously when Mike Evans got hurt against trying to think of what team it was. I want to say it was against the Falcons. I want to say that's what it was. Yeah, when he got hurt against the Falcons, Antonio Brown stepped in and really became a decent number two, a great number two. He had a very great game. And obviously, when you look at their wide receiver group, I mean, it is stacked. I mean, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Scotty Miller, Tyler Johnson, and then you look at the tight ends and they got Rob Gronkowski and Cameron Brate. So, and then obviously the running backs and Ronald Jones and Leonard Fournette. So they do have a very good offense, but this still is a big hit to them because Antonio Brown has really upped his game since coming to Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I mean, again, like all these players really need a chance. Obviously things weren't going well for Antonio Brown with a lot of stuff going on, and he was able to turn that around in Tampa Bay and become a big factor to the reason why they are where they are right now. And I mean, I obviously he's not going to play this game, and that's going to hurt them. But again, it's next man up, and whether that's Scotty Miller or Tyler Johnson, I expect that man to step up and ball out. And if they beat the Green Bay Packers, I hope that Antonio Brown can play that next game. But we always say next man up. And it's up to Scotty Miller and Tyler Johnson to do their job as good as Antonio Brown, if not better. And that's what you got to do.
Absolutely agree. So with that said, good to Antonio Brown. We hope that if the Buccaneers do win, that he is available for a Super Bowl, and we hope he has a speedy recovery.